So you started as a senior in high school at Beaver High, with no college offers, and now you're entering the NBA draft. So tell me a little bit about your journey.
Uh, like a senior when I was a senior in high school, played real good, had a good season average, like 20 points a game, but didn't have any offers out of high school. So like one of my coaches kind of put me on with this junior college, which I went to USC Salkehatchie, which is like it's a Division I junior college. So I got a good opportunity, but they didn't have any scholarships. They didn't have any like a CAF. They didn't have dorms, anything. So I just took my only chance and I made the best out of that. And then coming out of JUCO, I had no offers there too. So I started going to showcases. And this one showcase I went to, I just like had a real good showing and picked up like 9 offers in a day. So I got 8 Division II offers and like 1 Division I offer. Yeah.
What made you choose Young Harris?
Um at first I didn't choose Young Harris. Like so I obviously committed Division I. I was going to Alabama State, verbally committed and everything. Um but at the last minute, like the day before my signing day, the coach called me. Like I was already had my tickets to fly out and everything. The coach called me and told me that they decided to go with another person. So all the other schools that I had that offered me moved on because I was already committed. So I was home for almost a year, and Young Harris like called me and was like, "We heard you were home." And like Young Harris was like the first school to offer me, so they were pressing me real hard, but I turned them down. And then like once they found out I was home, they offered me again in the middle of the season. So I came in mid-season on a full ride and played immediately.
What was the transition like going from playing at USC Salkehatchie to playing Division II basketball at Young Harris?
So I mean, like I said, we didn't have a CAF, we didn't have dorms, no scholarships. So like going from paying for everything I was at Salk for 3 years, so paying for everything and then coming in to Young Harris like on like this full ride where I didn't have to pay for anything. That was the biggest adjustment. Like everything was free. We get a whole bunch of like gear, shoes, food. The dorm was pretty like I had an apartment style dorm. All of it was real nice, but that was probably the biggest adjustment.
Okay. And so fast forward, here we are a month away, less than a month away from the NBA draft. What kind of kept you on track to entering into the draft rather than, playing overseas?
So mainly, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like I'm just the type of person that like defy odds. So like coming out of a D2, I feel like I can play at the NBA level. It's just a matter of how I'm gonna get there. Like a lot of D2 people don't have the exposure and stuff like that. So when I entered the draft, everybody's like, man, he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like yada yada. But then I signed with NBA player agents, which is normally like for D2 players, like they just sign with like the overseas guys and stuff like that. But NBA player agents is kind of like the people who deal with like overseas and NBA agents. So I kind of like signed with some reputable agents, and that kind of like woke people up. Was like, well, how did he get these agents' attention? And so really, I entered the draft like my agents pretty much was the reason. Like they helped me out with all of that. Like it was just like, yeah, like we're gonna get you the draft application, and they're contacting the league office and certain NBA teams and G League teams and stuff like that. So like really, I just needed somebody to help support me instead of doubt me, and that's kind of where these agents came in.
Okay. And so upon my research, because that's what I like to do, a lot of the times I saw that you were dubbed as a shooting specialist, okay, since high school. And, again, fast forward to now, is there any roles that kind of like you know, is there any roles that you've taken on or just like made you more versatile?
So I always felt like I was capable of doing everything, but I was always limited by what the team needed at the time or something like that. So most of the time, like in high school, it was just for me to come in and shoot. At my junior college, it was the same thing, come in and shoot. But when I got to Young Harris, like my role changed completely. Like he wanted me to come in and score, not just shoot. And like so the ball was in my hands a lot. I got to showcase my ball handling abilities. Um, I'm like freakishly athletic, so he drew up a lot of like lob plays for me and stuff like that. Like he had a lot of ISO sets for me, so like I got to showcase my overall talent instead of just shooting at Young Harris, and that's kind of like why everybody like nobody really considers me just a shooter anymore. They just consider me like a scorer in that quarter time.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay. And so what would you tell your younger self as as maybe like a senior in high school graduating, not sure, what you're going to do? Like what would you tell yourself then if you knew what you knew now?
Honestly, I feel like everything that went like it went the way it did, not because of what I knew, but just because of like my circumstance and opportunity. So like I mean, I've always worked hard since high school. I feel like I did start working harder when I got to Young Harris and junior college because, like, kind of like you got some stuff to prove once you get to college. So I did start working harder, but nothing like nothing really changed. I just learned a lot of lessons throughout the years. Like I feel like I probably would have told like a younger version of me, probably like in ninth grade, I probably would have told myself like get involved in camps, like leave the state, stuff like that to get me more exposure. Because I feel like if I had the exposure, then my talent would have showed where I was supposed to be at.
Completely understandable. And what do you think that you bring to the table for these teams that are looking at you, that your agents are speaking to the front office?
Um, Whatever they want me to do, like literally whatever they want me to do,
I like that answer.
because it's a business. So like, I mean, you got to play your role until your time comes. So literally, whatever the team needs me to do, I'm willing to do it. I just want to be on somebody's team. That's all I care about.